We're standing here with John Craddock from XTSeminars. John, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. Well, I'm John Craddock, as you rightly said, and I'm an infrastructure and security architect. I do a lot of consultancy around the world on exciting things that I really like to do, such as really technical stuff on networks. I also do a lot of work with identity. I've architected some very, very big portals in the world for different governments and different major suppliers. Yeah, that's me.
So you had a session yesterday about direct access. Can you tell us something what that is and what your session was about?
Okay, well, direct access is a Microsoft technology that they introduced for automatically connecting a client machine straight through to CorpNet as soon as the client's pushed onto the internet. And what it does is it actually uses IPv6 as the stack on the client, and then of course that needs to be transitioned in IPv4 across the internet, and then you've got all sorts of issues as to how you manage that within your own corporate environment. But it gives the ability, as soon as you plug the client machine in, it connects through to CorpNet. Immediately it can get its group policy. You can manage out to it if that's what you want to do. And then when the user logs in, they get a secure tunnel through to CorpNet as well.
And you have a couple of sessions today as well. They're both on Active Directory in Azure and the features and options that are possible there. Can you tell us what those sessions are about and what your what's possible with Active Directory in Azure?
Okay, so this morning's session was about running your own AD in Azure. But of course, with Azure is that it has its own AD as well. So we've got the Microsoft Azure AD, and then you've got your on-premise AD. So I was talking this morning about running your AD that you look after in the Azure fabric. But I also covered a little bit about what the Microsoft Active Directory does as well. So the question is, why might you want to run your own AD in the Azure fabric? And there's lots of reasons. You may have an application that requires AD. You may want to use group policy management of all your virtual machines. You may want to do authentication against your AD, and so on. This afternoon, what I'm going to be looking at is identity in terms of identity and bringing your own device. So looking at what's on offer in the R2 release, so that's the Windows 8.1 R2 and also Server 2012 R2, in terms of supporting bring your own devices. And also I'm going to be looking at integration there with Windows Azure Active Directory.
Okay, and you also mentioned the Active Directory Federation services and the possibility for single sign-on. Can you tell us what the most important part of the second session that you're going to hold this afternoon, what's going to be?
What's the most important part? I will be covering Active Directory Federation services in this afternoon's session, but I'm also covering how it integrates in with the Windows Azure Active Directory. And I think one of the most important messages is that everyone should be thinking about how the Windows Azure Active Directory can augment their on-premise Active Directory. Now, if they're going for an Office 365 subscription, they already have the Windows Azure Active Directory because the Office 365 directory is the same directory. But now what we can do is that there's a premium edition of the Windows Azure Active Directory which will allow you to have a password reset portal and all sorts of other bits and pieces.
And the password reset portal that will give the user the opportunity to reset his own password, is it system administration side?
Yeah, so it gives the ability for the user to reset their password. Today, at the moment, the password change actually just resides in the Windows Azure Active Directory. So what we can do is we can take an on-premise Active Directory, we can sync it up to the Azure Active Directory with password synchronization. So now you've got the same password on-premise and in the Azure Active Directory. And then this month will be a release so that if you do a password change up in the Azure AD, it will sync back down to on-premise. So it's pure with real single sign-on on both. In the same password on both on-premise and in the cloud. And then if you want to, you can still use Federation services. So when you actually log into Office 365, you can actually authenticate against your own AD. But the question is, once you've got password synchronization, do you actually need to deploy that?
Okay, and I'm probably going to advise everybody who wants to know if that is necessary or possible to join your session this afternoon. I would like to thank you very much for sharing your expertise with us in an ICT Expert Talk, and we'd love to have you back next year.
Okay, well, I'd love to come back next year, and I always like being in the Netherlands. It's a great place to be. Thank you.